I'm here with the wildly talented guitarist, songwriter, producer, the fastest fingers on the planet, Chris Wallace. Thank you for coming, man.
Hey man, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to chat with you. I've been very inspired by your writing and your playing for the past couple of years, and it's cool to sit down with you. And I just want to know more about like your process as a musician.
In terms of like the writing or just in general?
Yeah, honestly, like we're gonna get into everything just because I feel like you're very multifaceted and dialed in at everything. So I guess I want to start at the beginning, which what made you pick up the guitar and what was your upbringing in music like?
Dude, I think, well, as I just told you, I'm from Pennsylvania. I grew up in the Poconos, kind of northeast. Self-taught. I started playing guitar when I was like 5. Just playing like the same stuff that everybody else starts with, like classic rock stuff. I took like a couple lessons from like this old rocker dude when I was like 5 or 6, something like that, just to get like, learn your bar chords and your,
Yeah.
like get the technique on like where to hold your hands and stuff. And then I did like a couple lessons with him, and then I stopped because like I was trying to play baseball and like I didn't have time to do both. Like I wasn't even, I loved guitar, but I didn't know at that point that I was like trying to do it as seriously as I do now. But yeah, so I just started like just teaching myself everything, YouTube University, that kind of thing. Was playing like, I started with the rock stuff because that's what he had me learn. And then really was interested by like classical and flamenco guitar playing. Picked up a nylon string and like started trying to learn how like they do stuff with the right hand, stuff like that. Yeah, and then I saw fingerstyle guitar for the first time. Tommy Emmanuel is my guy. I saw some videos of him and I was like, that's what I
Hmm.
want to do, man. Like that is it right there. Immediately went and bought a bunch of thumb picks
Oh hell yeah.
and yeah, just started watching YouTube videos like 110,000 times and trying to like copy people's hands and that type of stuff. And it was awesome. And just learned a bunch of Tommy songs, watched a lot of Andy McKee videos, like all that kind of stuff, and it was cool for a while. And I was like, man, like I really like this type of guitar, but like I don't. All I was doing was learning other people's songs and like, or just learning how to play X. And I was like, man, I really want to like make my own stuff. Like I just wanted to make things. Um, and then I caught wind of open tunings. Like I didn't even really know what that was. And especially for me, since I don't come from a theory background, like I don't really know too much about anything, which I'm starting to learn now, but this was a long time ago. And I was like, man, you can, I was always kind of like meh about voicings in standard tuning. Like I couldn't really, and I mean, at the time I didn't know how vast standard tuning really could be. Like I hadn't been shown what it's truly capable of, but with the knowledge I had at the time, I was like, man, like I can't really get the sounds I'm looking for in standard tuning. And then through open tunings, I was like, wow, there you can. I mean, there's stuff that there's sounds in here that I've never heard anywhere else, and then that's just one tuning, and there's a bajillion of them, so
Hmm.
I can just like go in all these different tunings and find things that I do like and just smash them all together.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have the theory background, it's like so much easier. It was so much easier for me to understand because I was just thinking about it in like shapes and
Yeah.
patterns and stuff. So I was like, cool. Like I just started building my own roadmaps for each like open tuning and
Yeah.
just writing because I just wanted to write. So I just kind of I started in open D and dadgad as most do.
Yeah.
And dadgad is I'm definitely more dadgad than open D. Like I've always gravitated to dadgad more, but yeah, I just started playing a lot in that, and then venturing out into other open tunings that I came across as I was finding more and more people that did this stuff and hearing more of the music and stuff, and yeah, and that's kind of what I built it up into
Yeah.
now.
And did you go to music school at all? No.
No,
What'd you go to school for and anything?
I actually didn't go to school.
Dope.
I was in the Marine Corps for a couple years.
Wow.
So I joined right out of high school. I was stationed in Okinawa for 2.5 years, and then came back to the States beginning of 2025, and then got out of the Marine Corps like September of 2025, and now I'm here doing
I mean,
music.
yeah,
So yeah, I didn't
testament.
go to.
You definitely don't need music school to be as good as you, man. I mean, yeah. So I want to talk about your writing because obviously you write a ton, and how often are you writing, and how many ideas end up never being heard by anyone?
Oh, geez, that's a good question, dude. I write. It depends, man. I mean, it definitely it comes in waves, as I'm sure you've heard people say and maybe know. Like
Hmm.
it definitely like you can't. I have like periods where it'll be like anywhere from like 1 to 3 months where I'm just like in it. Like I'll sit down with the guitar and like every day is like something new.
Yeah.
But even I'd say like in the more recent months of life, haven't really been writing as much on guitar. I've really actually just been playing a lot of piano and like composing on the piano, which I don't really put out there yet because like I'm still, in the development phase right now, and I don't. But with the guitar stuff, like there are times where it's like a thing a day. There's times where like I'll go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I'm like, man, I don't really have anything that I'm stoked on. Like I can come up with stuff, but it's hard to come up with something that you're like, yeah, like this is cool. And so there's definitely dry spells, and there's tons of things that I write for that matter that I'm like, like this is cool, but I don't know what I would really do with this, so I'll just kind of table this one, and then if I like
Yeah.
it, sometimes like a week later I'll be like, you know what, that one was pretty cool, and then I'll
Hmm.
record it or do something with it, or if not, I'll just do something else, or I'll take an idea that was kind of meh and then like try to like rehash it and see if it can turn into something cooler maybe.
Yeah,
Uh,
and going even a step further, like what makes an idea like for you to go the extra mile and do like an actual studio recording of it, and like versus just one that you just want to post on Instagram or TikTok.
hmm. I'd say the difference between the two is like they're and the Instagram ready ones are a lot easier to come by than something I'm actually going to take to the studio, because the only stuff that I'm going to take to the studio is something that either is already or something that I know can become a cohesive song or piece of
Yeah.
music. Like there's a lot of stuff that I do on Instagram that I think is really cool, and it's fun for like all my other like nerd friends to like enjoy, because it's like, check this cool stuff out. But I don't, as a songwriter and like musician, it's hard to like. So some stuff is just like I don't know if I could really flesh this out into a cohesive piece of music. Like it's more of just like a little excerpt or something,
Yeah.
So yeah, usually unless I'm not going to go and write a whole thing unless I have that clear idea of what it is going to be or what it could turn into,
Yeah.
I
And
guess.
yeah, with something like, between when you finally have like millions of eyes and ears on you for the first time, I want to know what that's like for you, and like what was that kind of the motivation to finish the song, or did you already kind of have the intention of making that a studio recording there?
Dude, that was pretty crazy. That was a really interesting thing that I wasn't aware of, but I now tell a lot of people and like fellow creators and peers and on and all sorts of other people. It's like, man, that video was like, I was kind of whatever about it. Like I liked what I like. I enjoyed what I wrote, and I thought it was cool, and I was like, oh yeah, this is sick. Like I'm gonna, but I wasn't like, this is the best thing I've ever done. Like I wasn't like, I didn't know that I had no I did not expect for people to enjoy it that much,
Mm-hmm.
or for it to have the effect that it had. Like it was just one of the, I almost didn't even post that video is what I tell people a
Yeah,
lot.
dude,
Like I
it's
was
always
like,
that.
yeah, like it's pretty good, but I'll throw it up anyways. And
Mm-hmm.
then, so you never, like, moral of the story is like, you never really know what people are going to think of something, like, even if, and it's usually the ones that you're like 50-50 on that do the best.
Yeah, man, it's
um,
it's it's always that's just the case for so many of these things on the internet. It's just you think there's nothing to this video, and it's always the ones that you don't really even think about that much that go crazy, and they just
For
change the
real.
course of your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that, I mean, that's how I'm sure many people found you. That's how I found you and started following you since then.
Awesome,
But
dude.
man, I think yeah, you've just created your trajectory has been awesome to hear. Like seriously, I love like your harmony these days is really really intriguing and super fascinating. Um, yeah, I want to talk about like your voice with playing, and I think that a lot of people would say you've created like a very unique voice, like in the same way that Lewis Cole's playing drums when you hear it, like you just know, and I think a lot of people would say that for you, like
Mm.
where people are trying to emulate the Chris Wallace sound now, and I think you've just created this voice that's so unique. And do you think about that a lot? Are you actively trying to be like to innovate guitar and try to develop this new sound, or you think this has just come naturally to you and you've just stumbled upon something?
Man, well, first off, thank you. I really appreciate it, dude. That
Yeah,
it
man.
means a ton. And for that, yeah, I mean, that was straight up. That was always my goal. It wasn't to well, like when I knew I first wanted to start writing, and especially like because I only really started taking this seriously in 2024 was when I was like that was the year where I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw everything I have at this, and if I don't see any clear like proof that I could make a career out of this, then I'm gonna pursue this other career path. Like I was working in IT. I was gonna go like work in cybersecurity or whatever. I was like, I'm going to use 2024 to like chase the dream, and if I don't
Yeah.
see any clear result, then I'll just, find a stable job or anything like that. But that being said, like my goal was always it was never to like be flashy. It wasn't to, it wasn't anything other than to be a specific and unique thing. I wanted to be different. I wanted to take all these elements of all these other amazing players and techniques that I loved and like learned and incorporated into this style. But my dream was always to like make my own style and something that's like, okay, this is what this guy does, and like nobody else does this thing. And I mean, I didn't expect it to go the way that it did. It was just like a thought of mine, but it's kind of what it turned into, man. And it's really cool to hear people like taking things that I do and like taking their and putting their own spin on it
Mm-hmm.
as well. I love seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've really nailed it because, in the comments, you see people being like, can anybody recommend anything that's like this? And people are like, no, I can't. It's literally just this guy. Like, it's amazing what you've done, man. It's seriously.
Thank you, dude. And I mean, it's for what it's worth. Like that, none of the things I do now, I wouldn't be able to do any of them, or wouldn't have come up with any of them had there not been all of these. I could sit here and give you 150
Yeah,
names of
yeah,
people
yeah.
that I look up to and looked up to and learned from, and all that stuff. Like it's an amalgamation of all these other amazing musicians that I've observed
Yeah.
before.
And
Um,
yeah, honestly, yeah, that's something that I definitely struggle with, like the versus, inspiration versus imitation, and like,
mm.
yeah, where is that line? And like, what advice would you give to somebody who thinks like that they aren't able to develop their own sound, and it's like not coming naturally, and it almost just feels like it does feel like an amalgamation of things and not themselves.
Well, one bite at a time, man. That's what I would say. Because I mean, you cannot just sit down one day and be like, I want to play whatever instrument it is, whatever genre. It doesn't matter. Whoever you are and whatever you do, like you can't sit down and just be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna play piano this a way that nobody's ever heard before. I mean, you can shoot for that, but you can't do it in a day.
Yeah.
So I would tell people like, and honestly, how I kind of started doing it was in my head, I was like, okay, well, I played fingerstyle guitar, and I'm like, man, I really love Tommy, and I really love Andy, and I really love these other people. It's like I love this thing that this guy does, and this thing that this guy does, and this other thing. So like I'm taking all these bits and pieces from all these other people. I'm like, what would it sound like if I took these three things and these three things and I put them together? let's just see
Yeah.
what that sounds like. Let's start there. Like take elements of things that you really like, even if they're super far, they're not even adjacent, you know, like they're super far away, whatever, and just put them, see what happens. And maybe it sucks. Maybe it's terrible. Because I mean, from experience, like I did a lot of horrible stuff, and it was like, wow, this ain't
Yeah.
gonna work. You know what I mean? And like you have to get that stuff out, and then eventually, like you'll find something like, whoa, this is a cool bridge between these two really niche things that I really like. I wonder if anybody's ever, you know, and then you're like, okay,
Mm.
let me try to put it out there, and then you never
Yeah.
know.
Sweet, man. Yeah, how often are you like trying to learn new techniques or like even trying to invent them or just how often are you sitting down just to practice guitar?
Man, like I said earlier, these days I've been honestly playing a lot. I've been playing more piano than I have been playing guitar the last couple months.
Which yeah, I've been
But
seeing it's pretty cool the stuff you've been doing on piano lately.
oh,
I'm
thanks, dude.
impressed.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm hoping I can do some way better stuff here in coming months. I just got to find a better way to record this
Mm.
piano for videos because it's a little abrasive on the mic. But
Uh,
but anyways, I probably like when I'm not focusing on other stuff like I am right now. It's usually like a, you know, like I'll sit down, and honestly, I'm getting back into it now. Like I'm trying to at least sit down with it every day and do something, just even if it's just for fun, you know, which I think everybody should do. Even like it doesn't have to be agenda based. Like you should still sit down and like just play, you know, because it keeps you connected. And I kind of lost that for a little bit. Like I really lost my connection with the instrument because not because I hated it or anything, but just because like I hadn't been playing it and I was like, man, like nothing I'm doing is I'm not rocking with anything that I'm doing. And like I just instead of staying persistent and playing it, I was just like, like it'll come back around, you know, but you should at least try to stay with it and at least sit down with it like once a day. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And honestly, in terms of learning, I don't really learn too many techniques. I'm definitely trying to learn more like harmony wise these days because I have such a lapse in knowledge and I'm trying to, you know, like learn now. And it's been super fun. But in terms of techniques, I'm usually trying to like figure something out.
mm.
Like a lot of the techniques, pretty much all the at this point, honestly, like when I'm writing, a lot of the stuff I do is kind of just stuff that I've come up with. And even it could be, you know, stuff that other people have done before, I'm sure, but it's just kind of like my own spin on it, I guess, and how my hands, especially my right hand, like I kind of just have a way that I use my right hand, and I'm just so used to doing it that way that even sometimes I know how I want something to sound, and I know somebody, I don't know, hypothetical, like I know somebody would sweep pick this, but like I can sweep a little bit, but like I'm not really that great at it. I never really sat down and learned it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of sweeping it, like I might try to roll through all those notes
Yeah.
instead of, you know what I mean, something like that. Like what's a creative way I can get around this or like achieve the same sound or result without like in my own in like a non-conventional way.
Yeah. I think that thing totally lends itself to like why people are like their own unique voice. It's like, yeah, if you don't learn the traditional way, you always come up with your own
Hmm.
way to get around things. And like, yeah, when they don't know anything about guitar harmony and they just pick up a guitar and they just try to learn like what sounds good to their ear, they end up doing stuff that like a guitar player traditionally taught would never do, and
Yeah.
it ends up sounding completely unique. So yeah, it's a really cool way to like definitely like do stuff that is completely true to you. So
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention, right? I
yeah,
mean, it's like if you
yeah,
really, you know, it's like, damn, I want to play guitar in this way, but I don't know how to do it. Like, I'm gonna figure out a way to do it
yeah,
somehow,
yeah.
you know.
It's cool, man. Yeah, I want to talk about your newest EP, which is incredible. I love some of the the soundscapes on this record. What are like some of the sonic inspirations for like the production of your stuff?
Oh man, well, it's all produced by this guy. He goes by Enlove. He's a lo-fi producer out here in LA, and a very dear friend of mine. And he has this really awesome studio out here that he put together. It's got a you know it's a really like it's a really well put together studio, and it's got a great view outside. And it's basically just I don't know. We recorded the whole thing, and you know I partially wrote. You know, like I did a lot of the writing there too because I was basically bringing on. He was like the first dude that I met out here in LA, and he was like, "Hey man, if you ever have some stuff that you want to record while you're out here, like you can come by my studio. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I do. So I went over there, but I was bringing like unfinished, like each one of those songs started off as like a 30-second, like an Instagram sized thing.
Yeah.
So like I would go there, but I brought stuff that, like I said earlier, like I knew that these could be songs. So I brought these things and like we would record whatever I had. And then, I would sit there and write the rest of it out. And, if I had lyrics already, great. If not, like I'd write stuff. And then we did all the production together, mostly him because he's really, really good. And I was just kind of like learning stuff. Yeah, and I mean, in terms of like the soundscape aspect of it, like the overall vibe, it was heavily inspired by the atmosphere of his studio. And like I said, like he has a really great it's on top of like a big mountain. You can see it's got like this really crazy view outside, very nature oriented, like
Yeah.
lots of plants and bees and stuff outside. So it was very heavily like that kind of thing. I was very, very I was enamored by like the Botanica. You familiar with like the Botanica stuff?
Yes. Yeah, a little bit.
Like really heavy sound design, like very kind of nature inspired music.
Yeah.
Like I love that very
Dope. Yeah.
deeply. And I kind of wanted to like, obviously, I mean, the people that do that exclusively are amazing. And I'm not quite at the point where I could make something of that caliber, but I kind of wanted to like bring some of those elements into what I was writing because I love that stuff so much. Like just kind of like cool guitar songwriting stuff, but with like some sound design type elements in it because I love both equally.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of the idea behind it, I guess.
Yeah. It sounds. I mean, that idea definitely translated. It's amazing.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you're working on right now? Are you working on recorded music yet, or?
Right now, man, I'm honestly in like a developmental phase right now. Like I kind of the next couple months, I'm really trying to learn because I like where I'm at, but I feel like there's so much more that I could be learning and implementing, and there's so much. My ear has changed a lot since moving to LA, and I definitely want to make things a little bit differently than I have before.
Mm,
Whether it's incorporating more stuff or changing stuff that was already there. So right now I'm really trying to learn as much as I can and learn from a lot of these other really amazing musicians that are out here that I'm blessed to call friends, like they're just wealths of knowledge that I can learn from. So I'm just trying to take as much as I can from them. Like I'm branching. I picked up keys last year. Like I'm trying to like see other aspects and like picking up keys is like, man, game changer. Guitar kind of sucks, dude, because it's
yeah.
like this like makes so much more sense than this does. So like trying to like just the amount I've learned in good part of a year just from that and transferring it back over to guitar. So I have ideas for what a newer iteration of my sound could be, and I'm pursuing that right now. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of just developing stuff, and then I think once I have some stuff that I'm like, this is newer edge, like this is some stuff that I think is cooler than what I was doing, then I'll come forth with that.
Sweet. Yeah, dude. What are some aspects of harmony that you're trying to learn right now, and like how are you going about learning them?
Man, that's a great question, dude. I'm definitely trying to learn more about how, like, I understand structure on like an auditory level. Like I can understand how like a chord progression happens,
Hmm.
like just from my ear, like it makes sense to me. But I'm really just trying to learn the actual function of everything and how I'm trying to learn theory basically. Like long story short, all the cool stuff aside, like I'm trying to learn how the stuff is working that I'm doing because I
Yeah.
feel like if I can understand what I'm actually doing, that will I don't I'm not learning theory to change my approach because I don't want to. I'm just learning it to give me more options because I
Yeah.
know that there's so many more options that I have. I know a lot. I have a lot of options because of my taste and things that I've heard, but I know that there's so many things that I don't have because, like, if I knew this, then I would know that I could go here if I wanted to.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I want that. I want all the options, because then if I have all the options, I can make whatever I want.
I
I
totally
feel. So
relate to this because yeah, I mean like yeah, growing up the way that you learned and the way it's similar to the way I learned, you just develop a really good ear for
yeah,
things, and you don't necessarily know what anything means. And then yeah, I come to Berkeley and now I get to take all the harmony classes, and
mm,
yeah, and then you just get an actual toolkit and you know what these things mean, and like yeah, now you can choose from a bag of
yeah,
options, and it definitely opens things up a little more. And yeah, it doesn't really change the way that you still think things sound. Like it will always be like, oh, I still don't like the way that sounds. And yeah,
yeah,
but it just yeah, it opens up so many new like things that you didn't know that you did like that's the cool part of it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. um yeah, so who are some of your like dream collaborators right now?
Oh man, that's a great question. I don't. I actually just. It's funny. I just got asked that question recently by somebody else, and I couldn't really come up with a good answer. I don't know. I mean, there's a sea of people that I would
Yeah.
absolutely love to sit down with and make some music with. But right now, I don't know, because I also it's hard, because I mean, like, I don't know, like a year ago or something, like when I was locked into what I was doing, and like that was like I was following that vision, and I knew at the time I knew what I wanted to make. So at the time, there was a list of people, like I would love to write a song with John Mayer, man. Like that would be awesome. I would love to sit down with Jacob and make something cool. Like there's tons of people, but now that I don't know, in a good way, don't know what I want to do again. Like I have ideas, and like I have momentum, but like I don't know exactly what I'm trying to make quite yet. I don't know what names would fit. You know what I mean? Like you don't
Hmm.
know who you'd want to work with unless you know what you're trying to make, I feel.
Yeah.
I think that will reveal itself though once I have a better idea of what direction I'm gonna head in.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to know the story behind the lizard thing in traffic, and the
Oh
the
man.
the call with Joxy. And
Dude, the lizard thing, that was just me being funny. Like I
yeah.
just the obviously, like we were the like for that song, we were trying to emulate because that I wrote that song while I was originally, before I lived in LA. I was driving up here like every weekend from Camp Pendleton Marine Corps base down south, because I was there while I was getting out. um, so I was driving up the 5 north every Friday afternoon for like a while, and that there's some traffic. You'll learn some stuff about
Mm,
traffic when you're doing that. And I was just like, man, it's so hectic, and that's what that song is. Like it's just so stuff all over the place. I don't know. Like it was kind of my take on it. But the in the beginning part, like we were trying to emulate like what it's like in a city, and you hear all like the people honking and yelling at each other and all that stuff. And
yeah.
I don't know. I thought it would be funny to have a phone call, and the guy in the phone call in that song is actually the guy that played keys on a
Oh,
bunch of the
sweet.
songs. His name's
Yeah.
Josiah. He lives in Japan, and yeah. So we were there, and he was like, I was like, like why don't we do like some banter, or something like that. And the the idea was like, yo, like you call me and you're gonna pretend like I'm late for something, because that's like you're in traffic, like you got to hurry up, you're going to be late. And he was like, what do we, like what do we do it for? And we just made up like the lizard convention, or what is that what it
Yeah.
was, like the lizard?
Yeah, yeah. You
It
just
was just something
yeah.
stupid. I don't know. I was just like, yeah, so that was that. And then the call with Joxy, that's one of my best friends, Justin. He lives. We were stationed out in Japan together, and yeah, I just wanted to like include him, and I thought it'd be like a cool interlude to have, because I mean that type of phone call is a phone call that I've had about 10 million times with that guy.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like a little. I just wanted to include that as like a little personal, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like we I don't know, just like a little something.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, how much is film scoring on your radar? Have you ever like been offered anything, or have you ever been
I've
interested?
never been offered anything, but that is definitely a dream of my film scoring and especially video game. I have been dying. I would kill to score a video game.
Yeah, dude.
Like I yeah, bucket list item for sure. But it is damn near impossible to like I haven't been able to like I don't know anybody in that world really
Yeah,
or but I would kill to yeah, like I'm a huge like I love video games. Like I'm a huge game
yeah,
guy. Games like Terraria and Core Keeper, like they're very like open world
yeah,
uh games and their soundtrack. This game Core Keeper, man, this it has the best soundtrack I've ever heard in a video game, flat out.
yeah.
My favorite, this guy Johnny Jonathan Greer, I believe his name is. He soundtracked the game. He's different, like he's so good. But I would love to do stuff like that. Yeah, I would kill.
Dude, for sure. I mean, yeah, the way that I'm also like very passionate about. I would love to do game scoring, film scoring.
Oh yeah.
I've just been. I go on Instagram and I type in like hashtag short film or something, hashtag like film set, and find all the people that are currently working on the films, and then just shoot DMs to like 200 people, and then sometimes they'll be like, yeah, we've actually been looking.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's just like you don't really need to know anybody. It just kind of you know, just shoot DMs, and sometimes it just works out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, do you have any like tunings right now that you're like, you probably haven't used this tuning, and it's kind of sick, and that you should play around with it?
Tuning. Uh, yeah, man. Dude. It's the one that I just threw it in a couple days ago. Hold on. Let me grab. I don't actually know what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I just used it. Oh, I just used it in a video I did like yesterday. But B? Yeah. So B, F sharp, C sharp, B, F sharp, C sharp, D, A, C sharp.
Whoa.
B sharp or B, F sharp, C sharp, D, A, C sharp.
Ooh.
It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's
It's
nice.
there's a I'm sure some people out there probably know or probably a good amount, but there's this tuning that I used to and still use a lot. It's an open C minor 11 tuning.
Mm.
Uh I don't know. Look it up. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But there's another fingerstyle guitar player that I picked it up from this lady Vicky Genfan. She's like a legend. She did like a YouTube video on it like a long time ago. I saw it when I was a kid. But yeah, it's an open C minor 11 tuning that I used actually a lot on the EP.
Oh,
Found
dope.
You, Traffic, and I think that Found You in Traffic. And I think that's it. But yeah, but this is like a kind of I kind of wanted to like mess with that and see where else that tuning could go. So this is just kind
Yeah,
of like a weird variation of that,
that's
I guess.
cool. Yeah, I've been playing around a lot with Open D with the E on the top recently.
Oh, like on the high E, like
Yeah, yeah,
D A, what was that D A D F sharp A E then?
yeah. It's been fun.
Hmm. What have you found with that?
I guess, well, all your Open D stuff is there, and then you got the 9 on the top, which kind of brightens it up. So it feels
Hmm.
like super, it just feels like a brighter version of Open D.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I've been kind of like, I've been stuck writing in there for a while. It's just so fun. Like it's
I'll give
just
that a
so
try. That's
easy to pluck
cool.
stuff out. Um, yeah, well, dude, again, thank you so much. This has been awesome, very inspiring, and yeah, and we could do it again if you got some more records coming, during release time.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm always around, man. Let me know. And I'll likewise, I'll let you know if I got some stuff going on. But dude, thanks for hitting me up. This is actually the first time I've ever sat down with anybody and answered questions. So
that's dope, man. I've been trying to reach out to people who I'm like, man, I can't believe that don't have an interview already. Like, Israel Strawman and Phonon of
of
Fizz.
course, yeah, the
Yeah,
homies, they're the best, dude.
yeah.
They're so crazy.
I mean, yeah. I was like, fuck, how do they not have anybody ask them questions
I
before?
know it's crazy.
Um,
Yeah.
They're really cool. So yeah, you're episode number 2 next to them.
Let's go. In good company.